An online survey in France has suggested that 12% of women there have been raped at some time in their lives. Now, that amounts to 4 million women. The study for the Foundation Jean Jaurès, a Paris-based think tank, asked more than 2,000 women from all classes about their experiences. Other findings showed that around half said that they'd suffered sexist insults and groping. 58% had experienced inappropriate behaviour, and 43% had been subjected to sexual touching without consent. Well, the poll also revealed that the vast majority who'd been raped said that they knew their attacker. For more on this, we can speak to Cécile Alduy from California. She's a professor of French politics at Stanford University. Thank you very much for joining us. You've written extensively about gender issues in France. Are you surprised by just how high these figures are?
Yes, they actually contradict previous figures from years past, which were not putting the threshold so high in terms of how many women had been raped or aggressed sexually or harassed, also verbally. What's really indicative here is that it's massive, it's systemic. It's not just one item. It's really almost, as you said, a woman in 10 who has been raped, and more than half women who had been insulted verbally using sexist insults.
This is a poll of around 2,000, just over 2,000 women who took part. What do you make about the scope of the poll itself?
It's a very good sample for this kind of polling, so I have no doubt that it's been done appropriately. Actually, I am part of the think tank that did it, the Foundation Jean Jaurès. They are extremely scrupulous in terms of methodology. I think what we're seeing here is that this survey has been done today and online, which lowers the obstacles for people to come forward and actually confide what they've been going through. And in the wake of the Weinstein and Me Too campaign, I think that probably today women are more likely to say what they have been suffering and they had been silencing themselves before.
How does this compare to other countries then? Have you been able to make those kind of researches?
Not yet, but what is interesting is that it really contradicts the stereotype of the rapist being this stranger in a dark alley with a hoodie. Actually, what's even more striking maybe than the sheer numbers of how many women have been raped in France is who did it. And for adult women, for instance, 70% of adult women were raped by their partners in their houses. So it really puts a new face to what it means to be raped. And I hope it encourages people to look at things from a different angle, both in terms of why women don't come forward to denounce what's been happening, but also how they can be helped in the future.
Last month, we had a lot of publicity around Catherine Deneuve, one of around 100 women signing an open letter claiming that the whole Me Too movement had gone too far. How does this poll fit into the bigger discourse that is taking place in France around what happens, how the experiences that women have?
Right. Well, it seems to be contradicting what Catherine Deneuve and the signatories were saying. It's not been too far because actually way more women than women even going on Twitter have been either harassed or aggressed or assaulted. And so it's the tip of the iceberg, the Me Too movement. It's not going too far. The problem is that only 15% of victims of rape in France go to the police and try to have legal action taken. And when they do, the vast majority of these complaints don't go anywhere in the justice system. There's no indictment whatsoever. So there's no incentive for them to ever go to any other route than, at best, going out with the Me Too movement on Twitter.
There's so much to discuss, but we're out of time. Cécile Alduy, thank you so much for your expertise. Cécile Alduy, Professor of French Politics at Stanford University. Thank you.